A man murdered near a primary school one day after the Prime Minister's crime address. Why the opposition thinks government's new crime plan is lame. Could the results of the Boxing Day Jalkanu parade change? Plus, a popular park filled with piles of garbage. We've got those stories and a whole lot more tonight. It's New Year's Eve. I'm Monique Toot, and NV12 starts now. Topping news tonight, less than 24 hours after the Prime Minister announced government's new crime plan, crime scene investigators found themselves in bushes behind Yellow Elder Primary School investigating yet another murder. It's the nation's 119th murder for the year. Dana Smith has the details.
Just one day left in the year, police this morning were on the scene of the country's latest homicide. This time, a body was found with multiple gunshot injuries in bushes behind Yellow Elder Primary School. Head of the Central Detective Unit, Superintendent Paul Roll, told the press at the scene a passerby had discovered the body in the late morning hours and alerted authorities.
Sometime around 10 a.m. this morning, police received reports of a body being found in the bushes here at the rear of Yellow Elder Gardens. Officers responded to the scene where they discovered a male suffering from multiple gunshot wounds about the body. EMS also responded to the scene where, upon examining the body of this male, pronounced him lifeless.
Roll said the victim appeared to be in his 20s and had around 3 inches of dreadlocks. He was wearing a black shirt, black jeans, and blue and black tennis shoes with an orange design and orange soles. As for how long the victim had been lying dead in bushes behind the primary school, Roll said preliminary investigation suggests the victim had been gunned down several hours before discovery.
This person appears to have been dead about 6 hours at least.
The bushes where the body was found are located off a tracked road behind the primary school that Roll said had been in use for several years. He said preliminary information also suggests there was no struggle and the victim died at the scene. He added police have no leads at present time and are still investigating.
As much as still early in the investigation, and we are seeking to try and determine who he is and establish a motive for this. We have no motive at this stage.
Several curious residents gathered around the area where the body was found. One local shop owner of a small convenience store located directly across the street from where the body was discovered said crime is a daily occurrence in the community. He said not only has he been a victim of crime himself, but the sound of gunshots are all too common in his neighborhood.
Sad to say, but for this year, I can't even keep count on how much situations and shootings and robberies. Just being here, like I said, being here in the shop for only about four or 3 years, I have already been robbed twice at gunpoint. So it's like it happening all over, you know. But it's sad to say, right in this area. Almost out of 7 days this week, I hear gunshots about 5 days out of the week, right in this area.
Sand said, quote, it ain't safe in his neighborhood, and taking note the body was found deep in bushes off a tracked road, Sands called on the government to clear down such areas in a bid to stop crime.
Like they have the urban renewal. I thought they was doing a good job at, a little earlier in the year, but look like they're leaving the bushes up. Children walking from school and stuff, and the bushes out of order, a lot of abandoned houses. I thought they were cleaning up those type of things, but look like they didn't get around to this area yet, I guess. But I think that'll help, much more visible, and a lot of people wouldn't do things when they believe they'll be seen.
Police are appealing to members of the public who may have any information on this latest incident to contact police. Reporting for MB12, I'm Dana Smith.
Two men police believe are behind the murder of one man and attempted murders of 7 people were arraigned on those charges today, nearly 2 weeks after the incident rocked the Baintown community. Christina McNeil was there as the charges were read and filed this report.
2 men appearing before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt charged with the December 16th murder of Tavorin Johnson and attempted murder of 7 others. Now, police say Johnson was shot when several men opened fire on a group of people gathered for a community peace event on Rupert Dean Lane. 31-year-old Arthur Carey of West Street, seen in the red and white striped shirt, and 26-year-old Godfrey Minnis of Rupert Dean Lane, today charged with Johnson's murder and the attempted murder of Paul Roberts, Javon Nixon, Solomon Seymour, Timothy Taylor Thompson, Ricardo Forbes, Davina Ferguson, and Curtis Thompson. The pair, who were not represented by an attorney, was not required to enter a plea to the charges. Minnis told the court that while in police custody, his alibi for the night in question was not taken into account. Carey added that he was not permitted to contact his attorney while in police custody. Magistrate Ferguson Pratt was today assured that Minnis and Carey's requests would be fulfilled. The men have been remanded to prison until March 13th, when they will return to court for service of a voluntary bill of indictment. In more news from the courts, 22-year-old Dion Henry, also known as Studda, of Sir Lyndon Pinling Estates, was charged with the August 31st murder of Robert McIntosh. According to initial police reports, McIntosh was shot in front of a home in Nassau Village. Today, Henry, seen in the gray T-shirt, was not required to enter a plea to the charge. He will also be remanded to Her Majesty's Prison and return to court on March 13th for service of a voluntary bill of indictment. Reporting for NB12, I'm Christina McNeil.
With a special cabinet meeting focusing on crime held Monday in the wake of Friday's Fox Hill shootings, Minister of Tourism Opie Wilshcombe is defending the government's numerous strategies on crime, saying no plan is perfect. This as he admits the fear of crime is threatening this country's economic rebound.
We're going to see a very serious, no-nonsense approach that's going to be enhanced by the plan that comes today. The truth is, we just have to. There's no middle ground. You have to be very strong on what you're doing. The Bahamas has to respond to the issues.
Wilshcombe also admitted the current initiatives aren't perfect. He said there is no clear answer, but they won't stop working.
Every single day the effort must be made. It's not tomorrow we wake up it's going to be okay. You've got to fix it, work it every single day, but never give up on trying. Never give up. The problem is when you stop. That's our problem. We haven't stopped. We're still working, and we're going to work very hard to get it resolved.
Meantime, Wilshcombe insists the current crime trends must be reversed before the Bahamas' reputation sustains long-term damage. Wilshcombe said the country must have an all-out war on crime and suggested government launch a love campaign to combat the negativity that leads to criminal activity.
The problem always is you never stop. You never stop. You've got to constantly work, because when you think you've resolved one thing, there's something else that comes up. So the government must continue to work, because even if we get the crime under control, reduce the numbers that we want, we still have to work. We cannot give up. We have to be persistent and consistent, and we have to get the right model. I'm very concerned. It's in the New York Times today, and there was a story that ran yesterday. I'm very concerned. I have to be concerned, but I know that we're making the efforts, and we have to just deal with it, deal with the matter, and focus in.
Meantime, Tall Pines MP Leslie Miller says if his parliamentary colleagues, including Prime Minister Perry Christie, are not prepared to push for capital punishment, they should, quote, leave Parliament and get lost. Miller, a longtime advocate of capital punishment, called into Guardian Radio 96.9 FM's Daryl Miller Live and said Friday's mass shooting in Fox Hill deeply saddened him. Miller asserted the cabinet has to make up its mind, adding if they are not prepared to implement the laws of the country, then they should leave Parliament and get lost. Noting that Bahamians are being slaughtered in their own country, Miller said he wants MPs to do their job and stop making excuses. The last time capital punishment was carried out in the Bahamas was on January 6, 2000, when David Mitchell was hanged. And Free National Movement leader Dr. Hubert Minnis wasn't too impressed with Prime Minister Christie's address on crime. He called it lame, asserting it offers no new ideas.
Then do the honorable thing. Step down. Move aside, so that real men can come forth and deal with this problem.
Opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis says the best minds of the PLP government tried to craft a response to the devastating crime surge. during what he termed an extraordinary all-day cabinet meeting. However, he says the best that they could come up with is more of the same.
I was not impressed with what they said moving forward with dealing with crime. Whatever initiatives are utilized or used or brought forth to help eradicate crime, the opposition will support. But we want it to be thought through thoroughly.
Christie said yesterday government will escalate saturation patrols, increase the resources available to police, and reconsider reinstating the 12-hour shift for police officers. He also said the Ministry of Works has been given instructions to work around the clock to complete the refurbishment of additional criminal courts so that 10 facilities will be able to operate simultaneously.
Now he's talking about 12-hour shift. Now he's talking about a 12-hour shift after consultation with police force or the officers. Had he not done that before when he brought it in, or he just brought it in without any consultation, and that's why there was so much unrest with respect to that? All right? He's talking about the courts, completing the courts. But does he know that building alone does not deal with crime? Does he not know that you need to have proper communication? The individuals must be working in proper environment. Has he gone to Nassau Street to see how the environment that the prosecutors work in?
Minnis says the only positive initiatives announced were F&M initiatives, including the creation of a gang unit in the police force. He feels that Prime Minister Christie has utterly failed to propose any solution which addresses in any meaningful way the fear of crime, the cause of crime, or the solution to crime. The opposition leader says the F&M's repeated calls for government to take a bipartisan approach to crime have been ignored. However, he says Christie's recent statement shows his government needs help dealing with this national issue.